to give y'all as much info as I can. If anybody here tonight didn't bring a tablet and able to take notes, we've got a few tablets up here we can give out. Brother King, will you? It's only about 6 tablets. Like I said, there's 22 letters in the Greek in the Hebrew alphabet. And this is the language that God started with. Didn't start with Greek, he started with Hebrew. Now, when God started writing, I'm just going to give you some symbols just so you can see how it began. The first letter, he said, in the Greek, it says, I'm Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, that which is and which was and which is to come, Revelations 1 and 8. But that was a transliteration. When God said, I'm Alpha and Omega, what he did, transliteration means that they took exactly what he said, but they never translated it. So what God really meant, I'm ox through box. To those that was of the Grecians, I'm a leaf through yud to those that speak Hebrew. So now let's Nav. I'm sorry. The last letter in the Hebrew is Nav. The first letter in the Hebrew is Aleph. Now, when God wrote to the Hebrews, we didn't have letters. All the languages, just like the English language, was a static language. These language was being modernized as we went on. So when we first started talking English, it did not sound like the English that we speak now. If you look at the first King James Version, the 1911, 1906, 1909, you'll see it said something like this. Forgive God for the heavens and the earth. This is how they talked. As we progressed, we got in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Even the word Jesus didn't have a J, it had an I, and they call him Iesus. We later got our J, they took and played with the I and gave it a J. You say, wait a minute, isn't that wrong? No, we still got the meaning of Yeshua, Savior. So the meanings never changed. Our words was changed. So you say, well, people that speak Hebrew don't, they know God's name. They didn't speak that language back then. Their language was a static language also, which I'm going to bring out tonight. They had a static language just like we had. All these languages were static languages, and they modernized as time progressed. So we study the Bible, and like I said, you cannot take the Bible for face value. You cannot take a Bible and look at the English definition and say, whoa, I got it. You have to study. It was set up to study, to show thyself approved, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed. So the first letter we got is Aleph. That's the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet. When God gave it to Moses, this is where it looked. It was an ox. Now, the letter changed. If you might not want to write down all the letters that I write down in the beginning, but you are going to want to write down the ones that change. The letter changed. This right here is Aleph. Let me make that a little better. Let me look at it and make sure I'm. That's the first letter. It's not really an X. I want you to look. It comes down, and then it comes down over here, and it goes again, and then it comes around. Every letter of the Hebrew alphabet, this Aleph, is the first letter. Everyone has a numerical value. This is the first letter of the Hebrew, I'm keep saying Greek, of the Hebrew alphabet. It does not have a numerical value. That one does not. Now, the reason I asked you to bring your Bible is because you won't find this on your phone. Go to Psalms 119. You won't find, a lot of times you won't find the symbol. You might find the words, but you won't find the symbols on a lot of the, if you don't have a Bible. So I'm giving you somewhere now that you don't have to depend on me. You can write them down yourself. Your Bible will have, anybody got a Bible that's got these in there? You have this symbol? Do y'all phone have the symbol? Psalms 119. You've got the symbol on in the Bible in Psalms 119. See, it's hard to find the symbols. The Bible will have them. This is Aleph. This is the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Now, this word Aleph comes from the Hebrew word, and it means God, it means oneness, and it means majesty. It's the first letter, but it does not have a numerical value. Neither do we have an English name that's equivalent with this word. So in English, when you look, what they did, they just put like a comma right there in English. Why? Moses said, God, who shall I say sent me? He said, go tell them that I am that I am. In English, we wrote down I am that I am, but they could not correctly interpret this word in English without writing it in Hebrew. Why? Because it takes over 380 words to describe this word, to give it the definition in English that God actually said. I am that I am. I will be what I will be. I was what I was. I am. It goes through this. This takes over 380 words. So that's what they put by the word in English, because they could not describe God in English. So we got I am that I am. This is why we study. This is our Aleph. This helps you kind of, and it means, like I said, God, oneness and majesty. The second alphabet we've got, this is the way it started. That was the letter that God gave the Hebrews. And what this actually is, this is actually the drawing of a tent. Now, the first letter we had was a bull. It means strong, powerful leader. Now, the second one we got, God actually gave them a tent. He wrote in pictures. It's a family, a house, or inn. Now, this right here is equivalent to our letter B. You're going to want to kind of remember some of this. We don't have anything equivalent to a leaf, but this right here is equivalent to our letter B. Here's the actual letter. The second one is called Beth. You got in B-E-T-H. And it's actually written like this in Psalms, the 119th chapter. You actually have this symbol here for Beth. Beth means blessings and creations, durability and plurality. It is the house, it's the tent, it's the end. This is the second letter. Now, I want you to understand something. Every one of God's letters is also a numerical value. The value of this letter is number 2. So when you're reading, when you're dreaming and stuff come by, you say, what is number 2? What is number 2? I had a number 2 in my dream. The number 2 has to do with family, house, inn, and it also has to do with blessings and creations, duality and plurality. This right here starts with Psalms, the 119th chapter. It goes from 9 to the 16th verse. The word Aleph went from Psalms 1 through 8 when you look in your Bible. Your next one, and you say, well, why is this happening? When David wrote, well, the author is really not known of Psalms 119, but it's accredited to David. When Psalms 119 was written, it took every letter of the Greek alphabet and they dedicated it back to God. Every time you see these chapters, they would put a name over it, and this is what the chapter would represent. And we, if I have time, we'll get into some of this, how to read these Hebrew and Greek letters, which will blow your mind. And this right here really helps you to go in depth when you're studying the Bible. Now, this is Beth. And we showed you it was a tent at first, and they took, as it modernized, and they gave it this. Let's go to the third letter. Now, our third letter we have This is how it started out. This is a third letter. It's a foot. It means together or to walk. This is what it changed to. Also has the value of 3. And it is Gimel, G-I-M. In Psalms 119, you're gonna have Gimel, but the original is Mmel. Even in Psalms 119, they gave you an English word so you can pronounce it. And the way they gave you to pronounce it is not the way all these are pronounced, because these letters do not pronounce like English words, like our English letters pronounce. It's just like Spanish. You get a word and you say, wait a minute, this is what that word says, and we've been taught. I heard Sister Cherie say something once, and she said the way it was, and somebody corrected her, and she was right, because that's the way it's pronounced when she was teaching Sunday school once. And I said, yeah, that's the way it's pronounced. It spells a way in English. We just used to saying what it sounds like to us, but that's not it. So this right here is Gimel, and it is the third letter. It has a value of 3. So when God would give them a word, the word also had a number value. This 3 right here, 3 is completion. Gimel means kindness, and it's a colonization. It also is the highest development. So when you look at this word, it also is the foot is together or to walk. So God will give them pictures, and we're going to go ahead. Now, I'm going to leave a lot of the old letters out so we can get into some of the, but the old letters would help me to get the new letters and understand them more. So I'm going to go straight down. Our next letter is Dalet. It is number 4 from Psalms 119, 25 through 24. We've got Dalet. And I want you to see Dalet is written like this. Now you have to take these letters and you have to see this is out here longer for a reason, and that's longer for a reason. That's number 4. It has the value of 4. It means dimensions and it means concerns. That's Dalet. Also means to move, to hang, or it means an entrance. It started out like a door. Does anybody know what a door looked like? This is how it started out. It started out like the entrance of a door, and this right here is the modern, what was changed to. Our next letter, number 5. Number 5 is he. This is what you have in your Psalms 119. And it's from 33 to 40, and it is divinity, genitality, and specificity. So this right here is he, and it's number 5, and it started out like this. That's the way God give it to the Hebrews. Then it got more modern. They didn't want those picture words, but God wrote in pictures then. So this is what you see in a lot of the ancient writings. And like I said, I have all the ancient stuff here, but I'm not going to go through all of those tonight. But it just shows you. And it also means, since it was a man, it also means the man. It also means arms, praise, look, reveal, and it means breathe. And here's the letter now for he. Let me draw it up here. That's the letter now for he. Now we got number 6. Psalms 119, 41 through 48 is evolve. I'm writing VAV, you have VAU in Psalms 119. And the Vav is, here's the letter for the Vav. It's Gala. So there you Vav. It means completion, redemption, and its transformation. This right here is number 6, and that is the value that is given to this. So you have to write down the value. It means to add, to secure, and to hook. It also, in the old one, that's what God gave them, it was a hook. I'm going to move on, number 7. Everybody got that? Number 7, we had Zayin. Z-A-Y-I-N. It looks like a number 7 with a. Now you gotta look at these letters, because these letters, it look like I'm just drawing something, but when we start breaking these letters apart, you see every one of these letters consists of God. So this is Zayin. Zayin means the spirit, substance, and it also means the struggle. This is number 7. This right here is perfection. This is the day that God rested. This is Zayin. It is equivalent to the number 7. It also is food. And so you have to look. And matix and hoe. It was, the original letter was like a hoe. Like what you dig dirt with. Now we got number 8, which was originally drawn like a wall. It is the het. You've got C-H-E-T-H, but the original word was het, H-E-T, and it is written like this. It's like an N. Comes back down, and it goes around. That's the word you have in English, because even though it's H-E-T, it's pronounced shit. It's like a blowing, like a breathing noise. This right here is equivalent to number 8. So you have a dream and number 8 in it, then you got to remember God is telling you it's a transcendent, it's divine grace. It's also life. It's also outside. It's divide, it's the have. Number 9, we've got what they call this is called tet. It's spelled T-E-T-H, but it's tet, and this means T-E-T-H. This word means goodness. This is number 9. Number 9 means goodness. Number 9 in the before was a looked like a basket, something you can carry something in. That was the original look of it. It means surrounding, containing mud or clay. Number 10. I know I'm moving a little fast. I hope y'all are writing these down so we can get into a little bit more, just a little bit before we get out of here. This is number 10, which we already discussed. Anybody remember what that was? The Yud. Okay, this is the 10th letter. It's the Yud, and it means creation. God said, I won't change not one jot nor tittle. It also has to do with the medical physical, which has to do with the way you think in your mind. It don't matter how you think. This is what this word means. This is the metaphysical. And it also has to do with creation. The Yud is also the arm. The original word was an arm, number 10. And it was a closed hand. And it also meant work. We're about halfway through. We've got next, this is called the calf. In your book, you got C-A-P-H. C-A-P-H. This is Psalms 119, 81 through 88. This is the calf. It means a crowning. It means accomplishment. Now, this is equivalent to the letter 11. Now, let me say something. Every word had a numerical value. When we got to number 10, 10 was our last, was our unit, which was creation. Now, when we get to 11, I want you to notice what God did. 10. After we get to 11, 1 and 1 is what? 1 plus 1 is what? 2. You put a 0 on it. This right here is equivalent to 20. So 11 is equivalent to the number 20. So if God just gave them a 20, they knew exactly what he was talking about. He spoke the calf just by 20, because God, when he spoke, when he moved, everything about him is complete. So when God moved in language, he moved in number 2. He didn't have to do, per se, a separate number for the word, because it has a numerical value. When God blessed them with a word, blessing, each word had a numerical value of what type of blessing. So they knew exactly how much because of what he said. Now we're going to number 12. This is Lamed, L-A-M-E-D. This looks like a 7, but look at it. Comes down, comes over, comes straight down, and then it comes around. All these have significant, every move in these letters, they talk. Every inch, every decimeter of these letters, they have a meaning. This is the Zayin. It is equivalent. This is the Lamed. Psalms 84, 119, 84 through 86 is equivalent to the number. It is the number 12. So you have to keep the number 12 also. 2 and 1 is what? 3. And add a 0. This is equivalent to the number 30. This is the 12th letter. 2 and 1 is 3. Put a 0 on it. This is 30. So when God spoke 30, it was Lamed. And what Lamed means, it is teaching. It is purpose. 30 is teaching and it is purpose. It is also a shepherd. It's the teach, it's the bind toward. So this right here is the pulling toward. Y'all gonna be reading Hebrew when we get out of here. Like I said, I don't have time to really write down all the old letters. So I'm just giving you what they are now, but the old ones help me to remember. Now we've got number 13, which is Mem. If anybody get lost, just let me know, because hopefully you ain't getting lost now, because we're going to get a little bit deeper, and then we're going to close out. I'm not going to be able to finish all this. Mem means it's the 13th letter. 3 and 1 is what? Add a 0, and this is equivalent to 40. It's still, you got to remember, it's the 13th letter, because it sets in the place of 13th, and it's equivalent to 40. This is Mem. Mem is the revealed and the concealed. It's Moses and the Messiah. 13, it is water. It is chaos. It's mighty. It's blood. It's revealed and concealed. Here's how they wrote the Mem. What do you mean revealed and concealed? This is 40. This is equivalent to 40. It says Moses and the Messiah. The Old Testament was Jesus concealed. The New Testament is Jesus revealed. So somewhere in there, that means Mim had to conceive. The Old Testament is Jesus concealed. The New Testament is Jesus revealed. So we got concealed and revealed. So you got to remember some of this stuff. This is going to help you to really study. 40. So you have a dream, say 40. That means, hey, what's been concealed is about to be revealed. And you can learn how to add these numbers up, which, like I said, I don't preach a lot of numbers, but these words, they have numeric. Everything with God has a meaning. It goes deeper and deeper. The next one is 14, which is none. N-U-N. This letter, this means faithfulness. It means soul. It means some. It also means emergencies. And it means air. The air, not A-I-R, air, but H-E-I-R, air. So we don't get it confused. Sprout, continue, and air. Now, it was first drawn like a seed. This right here was the original letter of none. And it changed. This is 14. 4 and 1 is what? Add a 0, 50. This is equivalent to 50. But it's still 14. You got to remember where these numbers fall. And they're not changing. It's just got a numerical value. So they didn't have to write down numbers. They wrote the number. And you could write, you do just like you do ours. When you get to 10, you write 11. You add 2, and get a 12, add 3. This is what they did. And not when they wrote them down. Our number's just a number. When they wrote them down, their numbers meant something. And so they had a whole lot. The language is so much more advanced than our language. Now we've got number 15. It's Semek. Semek kind of. It is number 15. 5 and 1 is what? Add a 0, 60. It's Psalms 119, 113 through 120. When they wrote this, the letter you see over this is Semek. It means support. It means protection. It means memory. Also means hate. Also, Semek is to grab and to protect. The first time when you seen it, it was like a hook. I'm gonna write Semek. S-A-M-E-C-H. In Psalms 119, 113 through 120, you should see right before that the word Semek. And you know it's equivalent to 60. The next one is number 16. And it's the word Ayin. A-Y. I-N. Ayin is drawn like this. It is number 16. 6 and 1 is what? Add a 0. 70. It's equivalent to the number 70. It means sight and it means insight. It's still under 16, so you might get something that says 16 or it might say 70. If it's 70, then you know 16 and 70. But like I said, it still has a whole lot deeper than this, but this right here is just the surface. 16 is also to know, and it's the shape. 16, when it first, before it was the A, and this is how it was drawn out. I just want to give you this one. It was an eyeball. That was the first letter that God gave them. Like I said, if any of y'all want a lot of the old letters, I can get them for you, but I'm writing the new letters now because that's what we're dealing with. We don't see these no more. Matter of fact, if you look at the Hebrew letters now, they've added some letters. But I'm going with the 22 letters that God used when he was writing. I want to get outside of that. Now, our next one is called the Peh, the P-E-H. And you might have just P-E. You got P-E, you do have just P. It's P-E-H, but it's Peh. And the H is not a sound, it's just like breathing. A lot of these words, when you hear them talk in Hebrew, you hear wind by Peh. Peh. So it's Peh. It means speech and it means silence. It is the 17th letter. And this is how it is written. It was originally an O, like an open mouth. But this is what they changed it to. This word means to speech or it means to silence. That's the Peh. And it's also to scatter. It also means edge. It means mouth. And it means to blow. And like I said, this is number 17. 71 is what? You add your 0. This is equivalent to the number 80. Our next letter, in your Bible, you're going to have T-Z-A-D-D. Z-A-D-D. T-Z. You got Z-A-D-D-I. Now, I know T-Z in English, we don't have no such thing. So we're going to pronounce it. It's Tsada. T-S-A-D-I is how do you pronounce it? Tsada. And it means righteousness and it's humility. This is the 18th letter of the Hebrew alphabet. It's transcendence. It means circle. It means time. It's the sun at its horizon. Tsada. The sun at its horizon. This is the 19th letter. This is the 18th letter. 18 and 1 is what? Plus the 0 on the end is 90. This is equivalent to 90. And here's how it's drawn. This is a hard one to draw. That's your Tsada. But you don't say it. I'm saying it too harsh. Tsada. Everybody got this? Now, I'm going down to the cuff. The cuff is 19. We've got, this is how you've got it in your, you've got K-O-P-H. In Psalms 119, 145 to 152, you've got K-O-P-H. And it's equivalent to, it's number 19. And it's holiness, it's growth, and it's cycles. Also, is sun, I gave you 18 was man, side, and weight. Chase, speech, and hunt for 18. We're on 19 now, so I gave y'all the wrong definition. I did give you the right on that. For 17 is speech and silence, pet. 18 is righteousness and humility. Yeah, so I gave y'all the wrong one for Tasada. It's righteousness and humility. Okay. Now we're on number 20. Number 19 is transcendence. It's circle time, it's sun at the horizon. Number 19 is the cuff. 18 is righteousness and humility. Yeah, I gave y'all too many. Man in science is he. Divinity, well, let me give you hold on 1 minute. I gave you what? What word did I give you? What was the word? Cuff is holiness, growth, 19. Make sure I got y'all right. It's the sun, it's horizon, it's transcendence in time. 18 is man on the side. 18 is, that's the old, 18 this is for 18. Let me go back to 18. Man on its side is 18. This is how it was originally wrote. A man on his side. This is how, that was the original letter for 18. It means to wait, to chase, to search, and to hunt. It also means righteousness and humility. That's tasada. Do I need to draw the updated letter for tasada again? Okay, now we have 19. Everybody got 19, which is cuff. Or do I need to do it again? We're going to do cuff. You have K-O-P-H. It's originally spelled K-U-F, cuff. And you have K-O-P-H, and this is how cuff is written. It's like a cuff link. That's cuff. This is number 19. Cuff is the sun at the horizon. Transcendence, circle, and time. It's also holiness, it's growth, and growth cycles. This is number 19. 9 and 1 is what? 10. If you add a 0, it makes it what? 100. That's equivalent to 100. It's the 19th position. Now we're going to go to number 20. Number 20 is called the Resh. In Psalms 119, 153 through 160, you're gonna have R-E-S-H. So I'm gonna put down what you have. R-E-S-H. Now, it means this right here is 20, and this is how it's written. That's the symbol for choosing between greatness, degradation, first, top, beginning. It's not the ending. It's choosing between greatness and degradation. So it's totally just demolishing. First and top and beginning. So it's not the ending. This is first, top, and beginning. Does not say anything about the ending right here. And there's a choosing. This is the Resh. First, top, and beginning. It was what it was originally, the original letter was like this. And it had like a man's, that's what's original, was a man's head on a body. That was the abstract of it. And it got this modern. So I'm giving you some of these to help you remember some of these. It helps a lot to know the original letters. So when God spoke to him in pictures. Okay, the number value for Resh is number 20. So you just take the 2 and the O and you add an O to it, and it's what? The value is 200. Your next one is number 21. See, we're almost done with the letters. 21 is Shin. You have S-C-H-I-N, but the actual sound is S-H-I-N. S-C-H-I-N. This is number 21. It means, and here's it's a big W. That's what y'all gonna have. You that have a Bible that's got the symbols in there, that's what you're gonna see. It means divine power and script, but also it has corruption. This is Shin. This is number 21. This is in the 21st place. So people that are having dreams and stuff, this right here is the biblical meaning of numbers. It also means to front. It means the 2 front teeth. Sharp, it means press, and eat. 2. It was originally like this here. This was the original. Let me do a little better than that. The original was just like this right here. This right here is supposed to signify teeth. And they just took, see, some of these letters, they didn't change them a whole lot. 2 and 1 is what? 3, and since we're in the hundreds, you put 2 zeros on it, and it's what? That's equivalent to 300. So now we got 100, 200, and 300. So we're not in the teens no more. We're not in the 20s no more, or in the teens. Now we're in the hundreds. The last letter of the Hebrew alphabet. I don't know if anybody remember what I said or not, but here it is. The last letter is the Tav. T-A-V. Here's the Tav. It's, that's the Tav. It is 22. And this word means truth. It means perfection. It's the last letter. Truth and perfection. It means submit. It means cross. It normally was cross sticks. It means to mark, to sign, monument. Cross sticks. Cross sticks is a cross. So this right here was the original. It was originally a cross. I'm Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending. He died on the cross, ending, and they changed the cross to this, and this is the Tav. This is the 22nd letter. 2 and 2 is what? 4, and we're in the hundreds, so that'll make this one equivalent to what? 400. Now I'm just going to do this real quick and just show you what the purpose. Psalms 119 and 1. The first word that was used in Psalms 119 and 1, everybody see that? It said blessed. Blessed comes from the Hebrew word which was splendor. It means to pour out as liberation, to devote one life as blood and sacrifice. Here's how the word looks in the Hebrew. if you got a quick verse or whatever, you pull these words up, it's going to give you the Hebrew word. This is the first word. David put, the writer of Psalms 119 wrote a leaf over. Now, we write in English from left to right. The Hebrew write from right to left. So he started with a leaf, which is a symbol of God. The next letter that he's got up here, the next letter he got is the shin. And then the next letter he got is the yayin, the zayin. So we look at, it's got number 7, 301, which is 308. We start with the Aleph because they start over here. He put blessed. So the first thing David said was God was oneness and majesty. So his majesty. This is what he started with just one word before we even get into the rest of his chapter. The second word he put is number 21, which is equivalent to the number 300, was Shin. His divine power and script also of corruption. This is blessing because blessing has both blessings and curses. So if you don't follow his divine script, it corrupts it. So this is the first word in the Hebrew. I mean, before we even get, this is just one word. We looked at the definition of blessed in the Hebrew. But when you look and you take it as a Hebrew word, you see it goes a lot further. Then the next letter he used, this is how you say blessed in Hebrew. The next letter was Yayin, Zayin. It's the spirit, his substance, and the struggle. So it doesn't matter what the struggle was, his spirit and his substance was going to cause you to be blessed. It's going to cause you to have, it was his divine power. It was a script that he had already written out for you. It's his substance. This is in the first word. Before we ever go anywhere else, just by writing the Hebrew. Then he has the number 307. He got his perfect number, and we've got the 1. So we see what is going on now. Just by one word, breaking it down, you can preach an hour on this. Just on the one word. So let's go to Genesis 1:1. I'm just going to do a couple of these, and then I know y'all tired, but I had to show you where we was going so you'll see that these letters ain't just something that we just doing, just say, hey, we know Greek and we know Hebrew or whatever. Genesis 1:1 says, in the beginning. Then it says God. So let's see how we did this in the Hebrew. This is the word for beginning. In the beginning, it comes from the Hebrew word, which was reshith. This is reshith. The original is spelled Rechit, and it's pronounced Raysheth. The first letter in the beginning. Beginning is in the place, time, order, rank, and the chief first fruit, the first part, or the first time. This is what the word actually means in the Hebrew. So now when you break it down, we look at it again. The first letter over here is the zayin. It's the spirit and the substance, the struggle. The next letter right here is Aleph, God's oneness and majesty. The next word here is his divine power, script, and it has the corrupt. The next word here we have is the he, his divinity, his genitality, and his specificity. So we have all this right here just in this one word. You said, okay, where are we going? I'm going to put in the beginning God. The next word here is Elohim. God comes from the Hebrew word Elohim, which means the supreme God. And it's wrote like this. This is God. The first letter is Aleph, God's oneness and majesty. The second is Lamed, teaching and purpose. He. This is in just the name God. The third one is He. Divinity, genitality, specificity, the quality of belonging or relating to a partial or particular subject. 15, this race 15, which is equivalent to 60. Submit, the symbol of support, protection, and memory and hate. Now, wait a minute. God says that He was Alpha and Omega. He said, I am Aleph through Tav. But this word don't say in the word God, it don't say anything about ending. Why would God not put, He's got beginning in here, but why would He not show the ending, okay? Anybody catching what I'm doing right now? Is this too deep? It's too deep? Well, let me catch something that I can, because I'm almost done. That's why I try to go to these letters first. This is Aleph. That is Aleph. In the word God, the word God is written like this. That's God in Hebrew. I know that, we've got Aleph, we've got Lamech, we've got He, and we've got Semet. This is the word God. Now, this should say Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending. This is God. This don't have a numeric value. Let me show you what He did. It should have Tav in there somewhere. Since God is beginning and the end, this is Tav. That's Tav. That's the end. This means the last. This truth, and it's this is right here, is perfection. Truth and perfection equivalent to 400. The last number, the last letter of the Greek Hebrew alphabet. This is Tav. Now God said this, I won't change not one jot nor tittle. I won't change a yud. So you add a yud to the Tav, a God that does not change. You've got the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, just in this one letter here called the Aleph. Was that too deep? Anybody catch that? That's what I'm saying. This is how the Hebrew works. So you got your Aleph here, and the Aleph is made up with two yuds. A God that never changes. Then you see what you have in the middle? Anybody see that? I'm going to let you go and work with that. But this is how it's broke down. All these letters that I gave you are a mixture of letters. Because that's how God is. Not one letter in the Hebrew is a word. It's a mixture of words. So when they studying in the Hebrew, they studying like we studying. They go deep inside of a letter where we go deep inside of a scripture. So they study the same way we do. That's why it says study this, so that God is showing that He's God all by Himself in the beginning. He's showing that there is no Trinity in the beginning. He's showing that He is the beginning and the ending in the beginning. When He uses the word Aleph in the Hebrew, He's showing that I am Aleph through Tav. By putting the yuds in here, I change not. There's no change. That too deep, Brother CeeLo? No, you got it. Like I said, I tried to take and tried to make it as simple as I could, because I have been doing some studying. But this is how anybody catch some of it? But like I said, it might be but I tried to, I pressed to make it as simple as I could. That's why I went through the whole alphabet, gave the meaning, and gave the number. And then we went through some of the words. And like I said, it's another language, so it is a little difficult because I've been studying for a while. And y'all have to forgive me, but I just feel like God has released me to teach all this tonight. I wish, everybody could have been here, but maybe God knows what's going to be here. Still yet. It can be, but maybe I should have broke it down small at a time, but I wanted to take y'all in because I feel like it would be exciting when you can see what you could do with these Hebrew words, just the letters alone. The letter. Mm-hmm. It's like it's beginning, but it's never an ending. That's right. That's what this one letter right here shows. This one letter, the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, shows that it is without beginning and ending. There is no beginning. That's why we don't have an equivalency in English to this word. There was no beginning and no ending. I'm going to say this here just for the CD purposes, for the video purpose. Number 2 is equivalent to the B. Number 3 is equivalent to our letter G. And I'm just going to call out the numbers instead of doing the whole word. Number 4 is equivalent to our letter D. Number 5 is equivalent to our letter H. Number 6 is equivalent to our letter W. Number 7 is equivalent to our letter Z. Number 8 is equivalent to our letter CH. Number 9 is equivalent to our letter T. Number 10 is equivalent to our letter Y. Number 11 is equivalent to our letter K. Number 12 is equivalent to our letter L. Number 13 is equivalent to our letter M. Number 14 is equivalent to our letter N. This is for translation purposes. Number 15 is equivalent to our letter S. Number 16 does not have an equivalent to our letter, so they just got kind of a common like hook. Number 17 is equivalent to our letter P. Number 18 is equivalent to our letter C. Number 19, our letter Q. Number 20, our letter R. Number 21, our letter S with kind of a short sound over it. And number 22, our letters TH. So I want to put all those down so you can, and like I said, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I did buy this book, and I have been studying. It's called The Wisdom in the Hebrew Letters. It does not have any of the old Hebrew letters in it. This is an excellent book for people that really want to just break it down and study. Let us stand.
I tell you, I enjoyed that.